Yeah, so we wanted to jump on today. So I love that these become so regular. Tuesdays, 11:45, lunchtime chat with Dr. Heidi.
Mhm.
So it's perfect. And today we wanted to cover off, especially coming into wet season, um, itchy feet and itchy paws, because I know there's lots of Ola's Kitchen users that have dogs that suffer from this. But it'd
Mm.
be awesome to have a chat with you about them. And also, we obviously, there's like a big difference between general grooming, licking the paws, and it's an issue. And is it an allergy or is it stemming from somewhere else?
Mhm.
So, can I ask us, can I ask you our first most common asked question? And then I'm sure you'll
Sure,
have
I'd love you
so
to.
much to say. Um, but I guess it is, yeah, how can I tell if my pup is just grooming itself?
Mhm.
Um, or is it, an actual issue that I have to address? And why does it happen so much at night when I'm trying to sleep?
That's right, absolutely. So the easiest way is just pick your dog's foot up,
Yeah,
look underneath, and you're going to look in and underneath around the pad. Now, if that is the colour of our hair, Sammy, that sort of
love that.
red
Yeah.
or brownish
Yeah.
colour, that usually means that it's pathological, not normal. So
Okay.
often will indicate you've got a yeast overgrowth in
Yeah.
between in and around the pads. Have a look at the junction of the nail, between the nail and the toe, and you may see another red brown ring around the top of there. So dogs
Mm.
will look at the top of that because they've got paronychia, so
Mm.
infection and inflammation around the junction between the nail and the toe, often from a yeast or fungal. So it's a bit like athlete's foot for dogs.
Yeah.
And it's really itchy. And what happens is at night time, if your dog is
Yeah.
in your room, Semi, if your dog is on your bed, you want to make sure that you're not perpetuating some of the things that will make those situations worse. So ask yourself, is it a natural fibre on the duvet or does it have some polyester plastic fibres in there? If so, the dog may be reacting to that. Do you wash your linen duvet in plant fibre, something softener, something like eco detergent rather than the very highly chemical, the Percils and the surfs, even the surf sensitive and things are often quite irritant to
Yeah.
sensitive dog feet.
That's
Um,
that's super interesting because yeah, I think hopefully like that would be common. Lots of us like to sleep under cotton, but if you did have like a polycotton duvet or something like that, you
yeah,
could be affecting your dog's itching by that as well.
yeah. And then, of course, it's nice and warm. So, guess what happens when you have a nice, warm,
Mm.
sweaty between your feet that gets itchy, and then the dogs will continue to lick and chew. So, out on a limb, I would say if you hear your dog licking and chewing and chomping and it's waking you up at night, it needs to be addressed because clearly it's annoying for the dog, and that is not normal behaviour. They should be snuggled down and going to sleep.
Going
So
to sleep.
if it's red and brown and it looks a bit unusual and it's stained, if you're not sure, you can always take a photo
Mm.
um, and take a photo of all 4 feet, and you may see that one's more affected than the others. Because then, of course, you can get it nice and close up and on the top and on the bottom. But if it's red brown, then my suggestion is that's a good time to book a consult with a holistic veterinarian or a dermatologist to talk about that being an issue for your pet.
Does the talking about the staining because with Jax being an itchy dog, but he's actually under control now. But I find that the staining's been quite permanent.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't really go away. Like he's not itching or licking his paws anymore, but it's just kind of there. Is that normal?
Well, what we want to do is we want to actually give them almost like poodle feet. So you
Mm.
get these gorgeous little dog in between toe electric clippers, and you
Okay.
want
Yep.
to clip up between the toes, and you want to get rid of anything that's red or brown.
Oh, okay. So
Because,
chop
like
it up.
athlete's foot, you don't want to be putting the same fungal hyphae back into the same area. So you want to be actively treating the feet to reduce the both fungal and bacterial overload that's there. So you will have heard me say before the
Mm.
solution to pollution is dilution.
Yeah.
So you should be bathing or washing your dog and or their feet 2 to 3 times a week. I like to use natural, beautiful New Zealand products that are antifungal, antibacterial, and very gentle on the skin, so they don't strip a lot of the normal skin microbiome and the skin barrier. If you have a really severe fungal infection, then you do need to use a prescription veterinary antifungal shampoo.
Yeah.
That's got miconazole in it, but start with the Manuka Kawa mix is very good. Lavender, there's some great lavender shampoos, and I know you've got a bar there that's got some lovely lavender in it. That's naturally antifungal, antibacterial. And the Manuka Kawa balm is also very helpful, and of course Total, which is what we use.
Total, yeah.
Naturally fungal, naturally antibacterial, and it's got local anesthetic properties in it. So start with those things, but you do need to be addressing why the dog's feet are inflamed, itchy, red, and they have an opportunist fungal and or yeast and or bacterial infection. And it comes back to the old that usually we need to look at the gut first. You need to look for the root cause of skin. The skin is the largest organ of excretion in the dog's body. So imagine we're taking in things like food and it's being processed in the dog's body, and then the body is saying get out to try and get rid of it out of the body, and unfortunately it's coming out through the peripheries and the feet. So they throw it as far away from the liver where it's being processed as possible, and that's to the periphery, which is ears, under the jawline, armpits and feet, which is where dogs commonly end up with yeasty type infections.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Like the same thing we always talk about comes back to what we're feeding our dog, what's going in, and usually this is a sign if we've got red itchy paws, if we've got a red underbelly, it's coming out on the skin and it's telling you something's not right internally. And that's obviously one of our biggest priorities here at Oliver's Kitchen, is to realign the gut and sort these issues from the inside out. Because is it your favourite saying that 90% of the gut affects all allergies? How does it say?
Yeah, well, 90% of the dog's immune system resides within the natural microbiome of bacteria and that are in the gut. And so that is the dog's almost totality of its immune system. There's only 10% of other immune systems. So it makes sense to focus on a long-term cure, not just relying on pharmaceutical drugs and visit to the vet, because your poor dog is continually getting yeast infections, staph infections, fungal infections, and then what happens is the skin becomes abnormal. So over a period of time, these poor dogs, their skin density will change, the skin thickness changes, they get thick, and the colour of the skin will change from lovely soft baby pink right through to what we call lichenification, which is like the bark of a tree. So it's brown and black and thickened and rough. And when you feel it, it just doesn't feel, because it's so chronically irritated. And you talk to any person that's had a fungal infection or a fungal foot, they're extremely itchy, and it can be very distressing for both the dog and the owner. So,
if you didn't get that far, as in like say you see a dog that's in that serious zone where the skin has gone like, that barky like consistency. So I've definitely seen dogs like that before.
They look like little wrinkly elephants.
I know, and like sometimes they're not even that old. And it's like, they do. They look like little wrinkly elephants, and you're like, oh god, like, is there? Because obviously we're big at Oliver's Kitchen about treating internally, getting it out. But is there anything? Is there a time you would treat topically as well as internally?
Definitely. So we have I see a lot of those dogs. Part of it's almost a routine appointment for me to do a telemedicine for skin.
They've left it to the very last moment, haven't they? They're like, okay, right, it's a real issue now because it's now turned into that.
Well, some of these dogs are rescue dogs. Some of these dogs, a few of them, maybe they've been with an older person and their eyesight wasn't so good. Some of them are just a busy mum and the dog's outside and they haven't really noticed. So there's lots of different reasons, but it is what it is. We all
Yeah.
start somewhere. And
Yeah.
so we always partner beside people and say, okay, well, our job is just simply to make it better. But we do treat a lot of those dogs, and I've got some amazing photos we could send through before and after
Yeah.
to give people hope. So the number one thing, the number one environmental issue for itchy dogs in New Zealand is, what do you think?
Grass.
Fleas.
Fleas.
Still fleas in New Zealand, so parasite. There's a dog flea and a cat flea.
Yeah.
The cat flea will happily bite your dog, and the dog flea will happily bite your cat and you.
Yeah.
So they just look different when you look at them under the microscope. One's got a slightly bigger head and a collar, but fleas are fleas, and they will bite the animal. Then their saliva is injected in the skin, so you have micro trauma. And then what happens is your mast cells in the dog's body will react to the foreign protein of the flea saliva and dump histamine from mast cells.
Oh, wow.
So if you think of yourself, if you've ever had your arm run across a bit of stinging nettle, it's not too bad as long as you don't start to rub into it. And then what happens is if you itch it, you'll actually break apart the cells, the mast cells that dump histamine. Now, that histamine will stay in your skin and in the dog's skin for 5 to 12 days. So then you've really got a problem.
Yeah.
If you can stop them from self-traumaing themselves if they manage to get onto something, the best thing to do is to bathe them. Get rid of the allergen if it's on top of the skin. Obviously, if it's a flea bite, you do need to treat it topically. Pet putty is what we use.
Yeah.
You can also use the puppy mud from Olive's Kitchen, which is a sodium bentonite clay. A little bit of geeky science there for you, Sammy. Sodium bentonite clay is quite fascinating.
Yeah.
And if you think of it like a magnet. So sodium bentonite clay is a whole lot of amazing, a chemical formula of, and we think of it as mud. It's cutely labelled as mud, but it's actually much more than that. So you can make it into a poultice like Nanny used to make with a bit of water. So a teaspoon of your puppy mud, a teaspoon of water mixed together.
Yeah.
And you can apply that to a flea bite. What will happen is the bentonite clay has got a cation exchange complex of about 103, and it will to 105. It'll suck up about 5 times its own body weight in water. So if you imagine a little small molecule, it'll swell to be slick and puffy and pull all the water into the clay because it's a magnet. And then if you put that on the dog's skin, it's going to act osmotically to suck out the histamine through the skin barrier.
Wow.
So the histamine won't go centrally. Now this works for a bee sting. This works for a wasp sting. This works for a spider bite. This is your first aid kit.
Yes.
And so that's the basis of what having pet putty is. So pet putty is designed to literally act topically and pull that clean through the skin, and a flea bite that would be driving the pet itchy can actually be completely gone in a very, very short period of time. Bentonite clay is an alkaline, and hot, itchy skin often tends to be more acid. So it's very, very cooling and soothing to the skin. It draws heat out of the skin. So when skin is inflamed, blood rushes in there, it becomes very hot. And that's part of what inflames the dog. It becomes really quite painful. So the sodium bentonite clay, you imagine, you can actually bog your dog. So I had a dog come from a referral practice that had been very aggressively clipped by a theatre person, and it had half the dog was clipper rash, and it was the dog was really painful. It had his knee down, but effectively all we did is we just bogged the dog, put him outside, covered the whole dog in pet putty, and you could just see the relief on the dog's face in about 2 minutes.
Did you rat the dog? Like, when you bog the dog, did you just put it on? What about dogs that lick the pet putty off?
So you just have to think they're just little hippopotamuses or
Okay.
hippopotami.
Yeah.
And those animals, if they've got itchy skin or they have parasites or they have ectoparasites in Africa, what do? They go and jump in a mud below.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for good reason.
Yeah.
Because it's so soothing to the skin. It'll drown any ectoparasites such as mange and fleas, and it acts as a second skin. So as the clay dries, it dries and it pulls all of the moisture up out of the skin, and it maintains a normal skin barrier. So it's a very helpful first aid kit. So your puppy mud is a wonderful thing to have sitting at home. Just you need to use it.
We had the puppy mud, but we also have the pet putty as well, which we've got.
Yeah, the pet putty is ready to go.
Yeah, brilliant. So that's so pretty much pet putty is like ready to go. Put it on. Don't have to do any mixing yourself. Puppy mud, you can mix it at your own terms or when you feel like it. Yeah. Side note: Can I use this on River? On like if he gets a bee sting, can I just
My children have used it regularly. We have one everywhere. So a pop of putty, and they just when they get stung by a bee, they come out from the bed, they put it on themselves straight away, and it's gone in about 20 minutes.
Awesome.
So you don't have that massive histamine reaction. I'm very allergic to bee stings.
Are you?
If I was doing cartwheels on the dandelions on the back lawn, I would end up with bee stings in my hands, and my whole hand would swell.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even see my fingertips.
Wow.
So another reason I became a medical veterinarian, because I was fascinated by how that all worked and how it was treated. But you've got to treat it quickly and not allow it to become systemic. You want to treat skin topically and try and avoid injections of steroids, injections of antihistamines. Antihistamines in general don't work as well in animals as in people. They do work a little bit, but they're certainly not as good as treating our human things for general antihistamines. So treating topically is much better.
Oh, I've learned so much today. I love that little magnet way of explaining how the pet puppy mud works. Like I kind of had an idea of like, yes, it's soothing and it's great and it's drawing it out, but just explaining that was awesome.
Magnet. And it doesn't matter. If you have itchy skin, we stopped doing skin swabs because it doesn't matter. It's osmotic, it's magnetic. So it doesn't matter if it's a fungus or a yeast or a bacteria, because it just gets ripped out and then it's not there anymore. It's gone.
It's done.
So it's bound to the clay, and when you discard that clay, and of course it's a natural product, so you can just put it onto the lawn with the hose, tie the dog up, give them a hose off, and it all comes off.
Yeah.
But
Perfect. Well, those are all my questions. Unless you had anything else you wanted to add about itchy skin, feet, and paws that we need to know.
Well, some dogs have an abnormal skin barrier.
Yeah.
So their skin may be lacking in things like essential fatty acids. So if you have an essential fatty acid deficiency or a zinc deficiency, the skin may be very dry and become very itchy.
Yeah.
There's also metabolic diseases and hormonal diseases we see that make the skin dry and itchy, and it's important that to rule some of those things out. So things like hypothyroidism. Hypo is low in dogs. So their thyroid is underactive and their skin can become very itchy, and they're very susceptible to fungal and yeast infections. So if your dog's always getting recurrent dermatitis and eczema, particularly if you have a large breed dog like a Labrador, really important to ask the veterinarian, shall we just run some routine bloods, let's pull a thyroid and just make sure that that thyroid function is normal, because it's such a simple fix if it's abnormal. And then the dog can carry on with its happy life. Remember the parasite thing, always treat for fleas and treat the environment. So don't wait until you have flea issues. There's lots of nice natural things as well as pharmaceutical flea products. But don't forget that bathing the animal 2 to 3 times a week is a great place to start. And then antioxidant foods are very helpful if you've got an itchy dog. So blueberries are helpful, leafy greens are helpful, and good old pumpkin is very helpful.
Pumpkin.
Omega-3, omega-6 fatty acids and supplements. So things like New Zealand natural salmon and fish oil. Make sure it's a good quality. Make sure it's a New Zealand product. And treats that are green lip mussel, very high in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. And then you need zinc and vitamin E to heal the skin. So if you're covering those bases, heal the gut, heal the skin, the solution to pollution is dilution. Bathe your dog 2 to 3 times a week. Ensure that you haven't got fungal and bacterial overgrowth, usually stemming from gut issues or hormonal or thyroid issues. Then that's a great place to start.
Oh, awesome. I love that solution. So again, solution is solution to dilution. How do you say
Solution to pollution is dilution.
Is dilution. I love that.
So if you've got 100% bacterial infection and you bathe it and it's in half, it's 50%. And then the next day when you do it, you're going to go from 50% to 25%. And then the next day you're going to do it, you're going to go from 25% to 12.5%. And by then it's not such a problem.
Nope.
So regular bathing is the most underused veterinary treatment, medical treatment for your dog, bar none. Most people don't bathe their dog enough when they have skin issues, that they're trying to get control of fungal and yeast overgrowth.
And I think it just comes down to time and people being like, oh, that takes ages and they're wet and I've got to dry it and I just want to put something on and get it done. But as you say, bathe. And I think I'm also guilty of that too. Like, as in, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered doing it. It's going to have wet paws. And
a couple of little shortcut tips. So have a dog flannel that's just don't wash it in any chemicals. And just bathe the feet when your dog comes in from outside. So a quick wash.
Yes,
in Manuka, Kawakawa, Totra, even a little tiny bit of apple cider vinegar is really good. And you're just going to do an ice cream container. An inch of water in the bottom, fill it up, and you're just going to dunk their feet and then pat them dry so that they're getting, and then that's not even a minute.
It's like going into your bure in Fiji and you've got to rinse the sand off.
You've got to have a little,
That's good. Oh, well, thank you so much, Heidi, for joining us again. This has been fantastic.
You're welcome. And then maybe next time I was thinking we could talk about ears.
Yes.
Because itchy ears are skin stuffed down little holes.
Little canals. And I know we've got so many Frenchie followers, and I know they just love to hear about all things ears because we know they're a big culprit too. Cool. Okay, we will see you next week, same time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.